Howdy Hacksters, I am as always your host Alex Glow, and today I've been messing around with this, the Thingy 91, which is a device from Nordic, which uses the NRF 9160 chip. And that reminded me of a collaboration that we've been doing with GroupGets, because we recently had a very successful product launch on Hackster Launch, which is a collaboration which allows us to bring you fresh new hardware products, and you get the very latest. So let's take a look. You can see some of the current running campaigns on here. So we'll look at a second at the @Mega Zero, which is an Arduino in the form factor of a Raspberry Pi Zero. What? As well as a few upcoming campaigns, including the KimX Micro, the QuickDAC Microbus, and the ChronoPi, which I'm very excited about. The recent one that I was telling you about a moment ago is the NRF 9160 Feather, which unfortunately just closed, but it is a device using the same chip as in here, the NRF 9160, which is a very powerful cellular compatible device, and puts it into a Feather form factor, which is this standard developed by Adafruit and has become very popular. There's all kinds of feather wings, which are basically similar to shields for Arduino, capes for BeagleBone, hats for Raspberry Pi. A vast variety of feather wings being available now for you to expand whatever board you get with different capabilities. One of my favorite things about this just ended campaign, actually, was this ongoing thread by Jared Wolf, the creator, where he was describing his whole build and test process. So cool. New AGPS data requested. Look at all this stuff. And I believe they go under the name Solder Party, actually, or Solder Party, depending on where you're from. Fascinating thread. If you're interested in designing your own hardware, I would definitely recommend checking this out and maybe dropping him a message if you have some questions. So cool. So the other one that I wanted to highlight is the @Mega Zero, which you can find on GroupGets. You just click the button to head over. Of course, you're starting at Hackster.io/launch. That's where you can find all of these. It's only $25 plus shipping for a single one of them. And yeah, let's just read it. It's a microcontroller board based on the @Mega 32U4 microchip, the same chip used in the Arduino Leonardo and Arduino Micro. The Leonardo is really cool because it can serve natively as a keyboard, mouse, or joystick device. So with this, you could easily make such a device, but with a sort of Raspberry Pi Zero form factor. And you do get 40-hole GPIOs, like you would expect with a Raspberry Pi. They can be used as input or output for interfacing devices and can be programmed using the Arduino IDE software. You know, I have a question actually here. On the Raspberry Pi, there's multiple. Oh, I see. There's multiple ground and power pins, and I wonder if it's pin matched, so you could use hats or something, or if it just happens to be in the same form factor. Works out of the box with the Arduino IDE. Here we go, pinout diagram. Okay, yeah, this does look pretty much the same. You've got grounds sprinkled throughout. Let's pull up. Oh yeah, pinout.xyz. This is a great website. Let's see. Yeah, it looks the same. If you haven't seen pinout.xyz before, it is great. It includes not only pinouts for popular boards like the Raspberry Pi, but also popular add-ons for it. So if you want to figure out if I can connect this device and also that device to my Raspberry Pi at the same time, you can figure that out with this website. It's beautiful. Oh, I should support them on Patreon. Cool. So let's see. Yes, we've got 5 volts power, 3 power. This looks all the same. Very cool. So it's actually pin compatible if you can make it work. Very pretty photos. Look, it's got an ESP8266 on there. So it has Wi-Fi. And it comes with a little SD card breakout and pretty much everything you would expect from a Pi, but it's an Arduino. It's kind of a... Yeah, there they are right next to each other. It's very confusing because you don't have the video out, the HDMI out, and instead of the USB peripheral port there. So you have two micro USB ports on the original Raspberry Pi Zero. One is for power and one is for USB peripherals. And on this one, you see there's a little button instead, and my guess is that that's a reset button. Let's have a look. 9. Reset push button. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So they've got a special little spot for you to plug in a little ESP01 Wi-Fi module pinout. My Wi-Fi module. That's very cool. In-circuit serial programming pins. 32 pins OLED display port. I was wondering, because that looks like where that you typically on a Raspberry Pi, the port on the end that you see there is what you would use to plug in a camera. But here, it is for an OLED display out. Ha! I'm not sure why. Well, it has a ton of useful add-ons compared to a regular Arduino, and it does have that pin compatibility with Raspberry Pi. It's a very interesting device. I'm curious to see what people would use it for. And you could build some really complex stuff. You've got Wi-Fi access, you've got an SD card connected. You could easily attach an OLED display, and you've got all those GPIOs. So maybe some kind of in-the-field device for data logging and easily displaying its status and things like that. You could put this on, actually, the Pi Juice. Pi Juice Solar. If you're not familiar with the Pi Juice Solar, you should check it out. It is a hat for Raspberry Pi that enables you to put solar power on your Pi. Very easy. And you can connect various sizes of batteries. There's one for the Pi Zero as well, but I'm not going to pull it up right now. Go check it out, though. Pi Juice Solar. There's a Zero version that's smaller. It still works with the full Pi. It's just slightly different. Yeah, okay, so go check out the @Mega Zero. You can have one today. Maybe not today. In 40 days. Also, the ChronoPi looks really fascinating to me. It is a hacker-friendly CircuitPython-powered wristwatch based on the 2020 Open Hardware Summit badge, which sadly did not happen in person, but they did have a badge. It features various sensors and expansion capabilities with plans to include a touchscreen and sleeker enclosure design. A little tiny wristwatch based on a CircuitPython board or chip. What chip is actually on here? Cannot find out yet. I'm really curious about that, actually. But it's going to be programmed with CircuitPython and with a touchscreen on your wrist. What? Cool. It kind of reminds me of the cardio badge from CC Camp last year. That was very cool. It had all these heart rate monitor options. So that's Hackster Launch. Very exciting. Lots of cool stuff for you to check out now. I'd also like to recap. Last week, we did the COVID-19 Detect and Protect Challenge finale, where we announced the grand prize winners. These are incredibly inspiring, exciting designs. Normally, what you'll see in contests is people sort of focusing on the flashiest, coolest designs, and this one was very much focused. You'll actually see people in here saying that all these designs are very simple. That was the point. Very low cost, extremely open source, so relying on as little in terms of proprietary software, proprietary hardware, and custom platforms that were sort of like walled gardens as possible, as open source as possible. So they were portable, they were replicable, modifiable based on people's individual circumstances, and things that were low cost so that they were able to be deployed in the field. And so we saw the finale last week. You can see some talks from fantastic people, including Bradley Busetto of UNDP, our own co-founder Adam Benzian, Halyang Xu from the United Nations. So cool. And the UNDP, that's the United Nations Development Program, has now published Q&As with all the grand prize winners, and it's just so cool to check them out. Again, these projects are designed to make it as easy as possible for people to protect themselves and detect the virus. Not to be flashy, it's a different kind of contest, and I love it. Of course, you can always check out our contests on the webpage. That's Hackster.io/contests. All kinds of stuff open right now, including Elephant Edge, just launched in collaboration with Nordic Semiconductor, Edge Impulse, Microsoft, Talglass, uBlocks, Vulkan, EarthRanger, Western Digital, the World Wildlife Fund, yeah, and Smart Parks. So check it out. we are building the world's most advanced wildlife tracker so that it can help with sustaining elephant populations, specifically in this case, in the face of poaching, in the face of climate change, all kinds of things like that. Conservation is the name of the game. And in short form, the goal here is to develop the world's most advanced elephant tracking collar, which can help park rangers reduce animal loss from illegal ivory poaching, trophy hunting, human conflict, and environmental degradation. So you want to build tiny ML models with machine learning using the Edge Impulse Studio and tracking dashboards using Avnet's IoT Connect, which will be deployed into 10 production-grade collars manufactured by our engineering partners and deployed by smart parks. Again, another project that you could really feel proud to contribute to. Not only that, but there are some cool prizes. The contest has just begun, so submissions close on October 16th, and we'll announce the winners by October 30th. Go check out all the rest of the info on here. Ethical AI, yeah! Not just tracking people in creepy ways, but like actually using AI for good. I think it's very important that we be mindful of how the technology that we build is going to be used. And yeah, so of course there's also prizes. You get an Apple Watch 3 Plus, a custom tee, if you get one of the top 5 machine learning models. And then the tracking dashboards have their own prizes. So check that out. And finally, we're just coming up on the end of the Arduino Touch Less Do More contest. Design a social distancing or touch-free solution with Arduino. I know you all know how to use Arduino, unless you're checking out this channel because you're a hardware enthusiast, but not yet dipped your toe into actually building hardware, in which case, this is the perfect excuse to learn. There's so much content out there about how to learn Arduino from the very basics, and with this challenge, you don't have to do anything super fancy. This would be a great first way for you to get involved with Arduino. There's $27,000 in prizes, and you have 8 days to go. This would be a great 1-week challenge for you and your buddies, your family, your teachers, whoever, to help the world and get some cool prizes as usual. So again, submissions close on August 30th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, enter this one for sure. Of course, you can always check out the rest of our contests. It's just Hackster.io/contest. We've still got the Deep Learning Superhero Challenge going on with Intel, Adaptive Computing Developer Contest with Xilinx, the UV Robot Design Contest. I love robots. I also love not having COVID. And so we have this challenge where you use germicidal UVC sterilizing radiation, such as this bad boy. You put it on a robot so that you can sterilize surfaces and areas, and then you win prizes. Everyone wins. You get to build robots, and people get to stay safe. It's fantastic. Okay, finally, one more thing here. Oh no, you know what? That was the last thing. The other tab here is the Pi Zero-Solar. I'll put it in the link in the description to this video. All the other ones you'll already find. Oh, pinout docs, XYZ as well. I'll put that in the description. But everything else you can find already linked in the description. Just scroll down and click the little links. All good. And let's see if there's any questions before we close up. Arduino? Raspberry no? Guillermo says, yeah. I mean, I like Mega Zero. Maybe it's a little clumsy. It could have a little more zazz. Oh, I hate, no. Panache? I don't know. Flair? Eclat? Whatever. Anyway, we don't really have any questions, but yeah, if you got a better name for the Mega Zero, then feel free to shoot it along to the creators, who are Eddie Espinal. Yeah. Or just go get it, because it looks great. Anyway, enjoy Hackster Launch. Check out the interviews with the UNDP winners. There's an AI digital stethoscope. There was a last mile delivery robot with a camera on it and stuff. Very cool. Check out the rest of the contest, including Elephant Edge with Smart Parks, and also Touch Less, Do More with Arduino. And have an awesome weekend. And as always, heck on. Oh no, I just managed to make my screensaver happen. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone.